It is April 19th, 2003. In just a few hours, a Russian Soyuz rocket will launch from Baikonur Cosmodrome carrying 3 astronauts to the International Space Station. Among them is Yelena Serova, a 40-year-old cosmonaut who has trained her whole life for this moment. She's ready to spend 6 months in space conducting experiments and living with her 2 crewmates. But behind the scenes, NASA and Russia's space agency Roscosmos are preparing for a different possibility. What if Yelena gets pregnant while in space? Because no one has ever given birth in space, no one knows what would happen. Would a baby be born healthy? Could a space station, a floating metal box in the vacuum of space, really be the safest place to have a baby? Or would zero gravity and cosmic radiation harm the fetus? Could an umbilical cord float away? How would childbirth even work without an operating table or a delivery room or any doctors around? In fact, no one had ever considered allowing a woman to go into space while pregnant. But now that they have to, NASA and Roscosmos scramble to come up with a solution. They ask all the experts they know, but there are no easy answers. Each question just leads to more questions, so the agencies fall back on the only answer they can think of. Now, before Yelena boards the rocket, both NASA and Roscosmos administer a pregnancy test. It comes back negative, but it's not good enough. These are not the kinds of odds they want for their top secret, never-before-tried experiment. So just to be sure, they make Yelena take another test and then a third one. Only after all 3 tests come back negative do they clear her for launch. And here we are today. We still haven't figured out how to safely send a baby into space or bring one back. And no one's ever even considered trying. Sure, there are plenty of ways to prevent a pregnancy, but no one wants to talk about them. When it comes to space travel, precaution is the best policy. And that means no babies, at least for now. But here's why we won't be keeping these space babies earthbound forever. See, space is dangerous. There are risks everywhere. Astronauts have to deal with solar flares, cosmic rays, dangerous meteors. But maybe the greatest danger of all is the silent, invisible radiation that fills the galaxy. We know that when astronauts return to Earth, they've developed antibodies against cancers caused by radiation. So if we could find a way to safely deliver a baby in space, future crews could help future generations develop immunity against all sorts of illnesses. And once we have that, space travel becomes safer for everyone. So yes, childbirth in space is risky, but doing it gives us the chance to protect future astronauts from diseases that currently might kill them. And let's face it, if we want to become a multi-planetary species, we're going to need to figure this out at some point. So for now, we're still stuck with the knowledge that every time a rocket takes off, it's one step closer to the first space baby. And when that happens, it'll change everything. I don't know about you, but I think I'd rather give birth on Mars than in a tiny space station. Click here for more reasons why, or click here for something else.